Guardians tell us to believe in them. That the gods have chosen them to save Talara. But their gods have failed our world too many times. We won't wait for them to defend us from what lies beyond the rifts. The planes power our forbidden technology. We choose to defend ourselves. We will save Talara. We are the Defiant.
Talara has always been threatened by forces beyond the Ward. But for eons, the land was peaceful. The creatures of the other planes always seemed distant. Stories to scare children. Until the rifts came. Now, no place is safe. The rifts grow more numerous by the day. We never know when or where the next one will open, unleashing death and destruction on all those who witness it. But all is not lost. There are rumors the champions have returned from beyond death. Perhaps they can save us.
I think the most exciting part about our game is how open-ended the class system is. There are so many possible options you can make in our game.
I love being able to say, I want this, and I want that, and I want to mix it together. And that's exactly what we're doing.
The class system in Rift is all about the Ascended and their Ascended powers. The Ascended are Talarans who passed during the Great Shade War. They've returned to Talara now from the Soul Stream to fight back the forces of Regulus and save Talara from the planar invasion. One of the powers is the ability to have soul attunement, or to attune their souls to other heroes of Talara's past.
When a character first enters the world, they choose a calling. Calling comes in 4 basic types.
They were either a warrior, a rogue, a mage, or a cleric. This defines the skills they have, their general play style, and the types of souls that they can attune to.
A soul defines what a class is in essence. It defines its abilities, it defines what talents it has access to, and how you actually spend your points in that soul defines how you are going to play as a player.
Every player will start with a single soul, that is the calling that they represented in their former life, as they level. As they adventure throughout the game, they gain levels, and they'll unlock additional souls they can then equip.
Affinity is a term we use to explain how in tune or how much spiritual attunement a player has or the Ascended has with a given soul. The higher the affinity level or the soul's level, the more abilities they have unlocked, the more options they have to customize their character. Players get to customize their characters by a soul tree system, which gives them access to a variety variety of abilities and bonuses that we call traits that allow them to customize their character in a lot of different ways.
Each soul tree is split into two parts. There's the roots and the branches. The branches are where you spend your points, and as you spend your points, that will also automatically unlock abilities down in the roots.
The roots are the core abilities that each soul gains, so that as players spend more points in the soul tree, they'll gain these defined abilities.
Players can have up to 3 souls equipped at any given time. Depending on their level, they will unlock more souls and more soul slots as they progress within the game.
Players will be given a number of opportunities to obtain souls in the game. First by questing, or even just plain old adventuring, killing monsters, or other player versus player combat. The way that we're going to reward souls in the game will give players the opportunity to get the souls they most desire first, and then collect the rest of them as sort of a minigame.
One of the great things about our game is that we never lock a player into a single choice. There are so many souls to collect within a single calling that at any given time a player can dump a single soul and choose a different soul and have a new gameplay experience.
Take the Nightblade, for example. They excel at close combat and they're very sneaky, but they don't have a lot of ways to take care of people that try to get away from them. By picking up the Ranger soul and learning a little bit out of their soul tree, I gain access to powerful ranged attacks that allows me to kind of take care of those people that are trying to get away from me, because I don't want them to get away. I'm a Nightblade, I'm all about killing things.
One of the really cool things about our class system is how you can actually mix up the points. The way you spend your points will be completely different to the person standing next to you, and that's going to be something that is going to be ongoing and people will be able to change around for years to come.
A lot of games go, this is your box. You can play within your box, there's lots of room. However, we give players a lot of different boxes that they can choose to combine and put together in different ways, giving them a lot more options than most games allow.
I really like the system. I think it's awesome. It's like having your cake and eating it too. I get to have a really cool class in its own right, and then I get to choose really cool things from other classes as well. It's really exciting.
My name is Scott Hartzman. I'm the Chief Creative Officer for Tryon, and I'm the Studio General Manager for the studio that is producing Rift: Plains of Telara. Rift: Plains of Telara is a fantasy game that takes place in a world that's under attack from parallel dimensions and the very forces of creation itself.
I'm Simon Finch. I am the design director. Rift at its heart is a RPG MMO with a twist. So the player will experience both the familiar and the unfamiliar.
My name is Darren Prandon. I am the art director of Rift. The most difficult thing about making a game of this nature is the vast amount of real estate there is to cover. It's just a lot of space you need to fill with interesting stuff for the player.
The rifts are places that the veil between Telara and the other dimensions has gone weak. And the weaknesses in this veil that has protected Telara is where these other invaders are seeking to exploit these weaknesses and come and invade Telara.
Once you actually encounter a tear and cause it to open into a rift, you will notice that the energy and magic of that plane starts pouring through.
We've managed to create a world that has this massive diversity of environments and still managed to keep them interesting for people to play in.
Planes are the classic earth, water, fire, air, along with life and death. Each of them have a theme, and the creatures come through, look kind of twisted, almost disease-ridden.
One of the most important things for us was to figure out new and interesting ways to allow players to customize their classes. Instead of having a standard, static MMO class system, we have a customizable system that lets people absorb souls from different sources in the world and bring those souls in to be parts of themselves.
We are currently implementing a system that rewards anybody that participates in a rift. You can even turn up at the 11th hour and you'll get something. people that actually are involved in opening the rift will get better stuff than somebody that just turns up and helps at the end.
The invasions are an interesting type of gameplay for us. One type, for example, you might be fighting creatures from the plane of death, and so over time the waves that you're fighting get stronger and stronger and uglier until we start layering in gameplay elements like timed waves and waves where you have to kill certain numbers of creatures. As you're doing this, you're increasing the value of your rewards over time.
There are definitely rumors of being able to take the fight into the planes. It is still impossible to do, but both factions are busy trying to figure out how to get through the rifts.
We've used some world-renowned fantasy artists to come up with a really unique look in both the creatures and the environment designs.
I am absolutely blown away by how beautiful it looks. I absolutely love the look of the game. The gameplay is rich and interesting. The background story is phenomenal. It is a AAA MMO.
When people are playing Rift, we're really hoping that they feel like they're part of a living world where they're able to band together with other players, both against the invaders and against other players. We're always hoping to be able to introduce something new that's going to draw people back that progresses the story of what's going on.